Hello everyone and welcome back to the next installment of our 9.2 raid guides, proudly presented by Coinbase. This is Crzypck from Team Liquid, and today we'll show you how to kill Mythic Halondrus in the Sepulcher of the first ones. As a reminder, all of our Mythic guides are written with the assumption you understand how the fight works on Heroic. As such, this video is focused on the Mythic changes in strategy, and we won't be reviewing how Heroic mechanics work. If you need a refresher on the basic mechanics, check out the Heroic guide video on our channel. Welcome to the Crab boss. We recommend you bring a beach blanket and an umbrella because you'll be in the sandpit for a while. This boss is definitely a wall boss, but a pretty fun one. Killing the crab will require significantly more pulls and substantially more time than the bosses before it in the raid. It'll take your team a while to learn the flow, and for each of your bomb teams to get used to working together. With time and focus, you'll get used to each phase and eventually get to eat crab legs for dinner. Let's go into the mechanics here. The most obvious and impactful mythic change is the introduction of volatile charges, the bombs. On the pull, 3 bombs spawn. After the first intermission, another set of 3 bombs will spawn. These bombs have a 10-second timer. If the timer expires on any bomb, it'll explode and wipe the raid. To prevent this, a player can run over the bomb, picking it up. This resets the 10-second timer and creates a new one. If the player is still holding the bomb after 10 seconds, it'll explode and wipe the raid. You can drop the bomb before the timer ends, again resetting it and starting the cycle all over. While you hold a bomb, it'll deal ticking damage to you every second. After dropping a bomb, you'll get a debuff, increasing damage taken by those ticks by 1000% for 16 seconds, which is enough for the first tick to just kill you. So, after a very long-winded explanation there of how the bombs work, what does it all mean? Well, basically, you'll need 6 total teams of 2 players each. Teams 1, 2, and 3 get bombs in Stage 1, and teams 4, 5, and 6 get the additional bombs in Stage 2. We recommend having 4 of your teams be ranged and 2 be melee. Each team will need to work together picking up the bomb, holding it for about 8 seconds, dropping it, waiting about 8 seconds to pick it up, and then having that second person go ahead and pick it up. Rinse and repeat for the length of the fight. A single failure, a single time the 10-second timer runs out, the bomb explodes and the raid wipes. This juggling of bombs is the primary difficulty of the encounter, as it'll take a very high level of coordination between each bomb team for the duration of the fight. You'll need to think ahead when dropping a bomb back on the ground, so it's in a position for your partner to be able to pick it up safely. This will take practice, and a lot of it, and will be the majority of the time you spend learning this fight. Aside from the bombs, there's a few other changes for Mythic. All ephemera emotes now spawn with a fractal shell, the shield that needs to be broken by the light shatter beam. There are now more planet cracker beams in stages 1 and 2, and they'll be rotating in both directions, making it a bit more difficult to move away from them. In stage 3, the planet cracker beams will form a Y shape, breaking the room into 3 separate sections. These also do substantially more damage than they did on Heroic, dealing lethal damage from a single tick unless you use an immunity or blink through it. As far as actually killing the crab, we recommend bringing 2 tanks, 4 healers, and 14 DPS. Stages 1 and 2, mechanically, are roughly the same as Heroic, but all while dealing with those bombs. Tanks will need to ensure every single moat gets hit by a light shatter beam. You cannot fail a single moat for the duration of the fight, as any moat reaching the boss and exploding will wipe the raid. It's every single player's responsibility to help bounce moats. Do not let any reach the boss. Other than that, the remaining 2 big mechanics are the same. When Earth Shatter Missiles is cast, spread and then dodge. When Reclaim is cast, blast the shield. This ends up lasting a lot longer on Mythic than Heroic, so you'll definitely need to pop at least 1, if not 2 healer cooldowns to keep the raid stable. Make sure no moats reach the boss during this Reclaim, and make sure you're dropping the slow puddles properly in front of moats. When you're in the 2 intermissions, handling the bombs becomes even more difficult. With the whole raid moving, knockbacks, and cliffs to fall off of, a lot of bad things can happen here. If you're on one of the bomb teams, you'll need to be very careful of your positioning. Each bomb needs to stay ahead of the boss. Remember, you'll need to be dropping the bomb on the ground for 6 to 8 seconds at a time. If the bomb is behind the boss, You're just setting your partner up for falling too far behind and dying and wiping the raid. You'll want to always keep the bombs ahead of where the boss is. When a shatter is about to happen, make sure the people with bombs get knocked forwards. These intermissions are extremely difficult and will take quite a long time to learn. To help expedite the process, we recommend each bomb pair create their own path to go down through each intermission, pre-planning where they'll be dropping the bombs and picking them back up. Having a process and a path for each team that can be repeated every pull will help you build muscle memory and speed up your learning process. Once you reach stage 3, as the boss is just getting to the center, pop Bloodlust. Use everything here, second pots, any cooldowns, anything you have. As the stage begins, you'll get 12 total ephemera fissures, meaning 12 motes. Fortunately though, the stage 3 motes do not have fractal shells on them. Aside from that, you'll also have the planet cracker beam spawning in a Y shape, breaking the room into 3 sections. Notably, the beams do not actually extend from the boss all of the way to the walls in every section of the room, and there are places where you can pass behind the beams. Positioning is important here, as you'll have 6 bombs total to deal with, while also having the 12 modes to control. You'll want to break the raid into 3 distinct groups here, each group being in one of the thirds of the room. One group will be 2 tanks and a healer. A second group will be 1 melee bomb team, a healer, and one of the non-bomb holding DPS. The last group will be the second melee bomb team, the other 2 healers, and the other non-bomb holding DPS. All of the ranged bomb teams are not to be included in these groups, because they can actually spread out along the outer edges of the room, positioned further away than the planet cracker beams can reach. Each team needs to keep their own little spot together, about 15 yards from each of the other ranged teams. They're simply focused here on passing the bombs back and forth and doing as much damage to the boss as possible. For everybody in the raid who isn't part of the ranged bomb teams, you'll be running with the planet cracker beams and rotating around the room. Light Shatter Beam does continue being cast throughout this phase, so don't get hit unless you're the tank, and tanks are going to want to swap after each beam. During the phase, there are those 12 motes, so everybody should be helping bounce them back. The only exception is the ranged teams when they're actually soaking the bombs. There you don't necessarily want to take the extra damage. The 2 tanks should handle any motes that come near the boss within their section. In the other sections, every single player should be helping. As far as the 2 melee bomb teams, handling positioning of dropping the bombs is vital. The planet cracker beam spins counterclockwise. If you are one of the melee with the bomb, always drop it to the right hand corner just behind where the planet cracker beam is. This will give your partner plenty of time to wait for their debuff to fall before grabbing the bomb off the ground. Keep repeating this the entirety of stage 3. Your raid will rotate, bounce motes, pass bombs, and hard nuke until the boss dies. Like we said at the beginning of the video, this boss will take you a while. Don't get frustrated, this is a very difficult boss to progress. Everyone has something a little bit different that they need to learn and master. With time, everybody will settle into the path and you will be able to bring down this boss. If you enjoyed this guide, remember to like it and make sure you're subscribed to the channel to catch all of our previews, guides, kill videos, and more. A big thank you to Coinbase for making guides like these possible. From everyone here at Team Liquid, have a great day and we'll see you for the next video.